So Japan has an over-tourism problem, and by over-tourism, I mean Tokyo, Kyoto, Osaka, Nara. My fault. So Japan is making some changes. What are those changes? Let's get in there. So first up is dual pricing is coming. July 2025, guys. Tourists are gonna be paying more than locals at some attractions and some services. We all knew this was coming. You know, the yen can only be weak for so long. It's not gonna be absolutely everywhere and anywhere, but it's gonna be at some major places, including Junguria, Okinawa, and Nisako ski resorts. And there have been some rumors, they've been talking about it a while, for like hotels, Himeji Castle, and maybe some restaurants. I think there's a rumor going around right now where like some restaurants, well, if you get an English menu, you'll pay more than like the Japanese menu. I personally never seen this. If you've seen it, let me know in the comment section down below. But yeah, just be prepared to spend a little bit more money, maybe up to 30% more on your Japan trip, and you'll be fine. It's just the way it is. What are you gonna do? My only issue is that how are they gonna discern between like a foreign resident and a tourist without presenting a passport? I'm sure once you do that, it'll be fine. It might be a little bit of a pain in the ass, but you can do it. The other issue I'm thinking of is what if you're in a group and there's like a Japanese person like, oh, let's go skiing in Nisako with the Aussies, and you know, the Australians are paying 6,500 for their ticket and the Japanese person pays 5,000. How would they do it if they're gonna pay in a group? I'm sure they could just pay separately, but another example is like, if you are paying at a restaurant, some restaurants don't split the check, right? So like, how would it work? Would it be like, oh, because I had the one Japanese person, it just negates the entire double pricing? Or like, you know what I mean? Like, how do you, like, oh, I only ate the hamburger, so the hamburger's, you know, not dual price. I don't know. I don't think that's practically gonna work. So next up is the shinkansen. So the Nozomi Shinkansen is the one that everyone takes to go to Osaka. It's the fastest one, has the least stops. You get to Osaka in 2.5 hours. And that one usually has cars 1 to 3 would be a non-reserved seat, so you can just buy a ticket, hopefully get a seat, and just be off to the races. And then during the holiday season or peak hours, they would make the entire train all reserved. So like, you can't just hop on the train. You'd have to like pay an extra 10 bucks to reserve your seat and plan out your trip, etc., etc. Since April, they've actually reduced it to 2 cars being non-reserved. So for those of you who are more spontaneous, this is kind of gonna crunch you a little bit. So maybe avoid rush hour and maybe plan your trip a little bit more. And if you haven't even planned your first trip to Japan yet, you can watch this video here that I made about the generic trip that everyone basically does. So next up is Mount Fuji is increasing the price to climb the mountain from 2,000 to 4,000 yen this year. And that's kind of a bummer. It's kind of expensive, man, to climb a mountain. But I'm pretty sure that's just for like the main route. I'm pretty sure you can climb a mountain for free if you just kind of start anywhere, but like the main safest route that everyone starts from. And they're also thinking about putting daily limits on the amount of climbers. So basically Fuji's just been bombarded with people just climbing this thing. It's overcrowded, you know, and with that comes trash, damage to infrastructure, rescue missions. There was like a guy who like tried to climb by himself, had to be rescued, and then he went back up again to get his phone, had to be rescued again. So a lot of these things cost money, right? So I think this is a pretty justified price. If you're a Japanese person and you're paying 4,000 yen to climb a mountain, when you're thinking about purchasing power, that's kind of a lot, I'm not gonna lie, when you could just climb a mountain like Mount Takao for like free. Yeah, Mount Fuji is Mount Fuji, you gotta capitalize on it. I mean, like, some of that money also goes to like maintaining like the cabins that you can sleep in and the restaurant at the top of the mountain, etc., etc. So it's not all just like going to corporate greed or something like that. So I think this is pretty justified. But this next one I think is a bigger bummer than double pricing, which is tax-free shopping evolutions. The way you could do tax-free is you'd go to a tax-free shop, you go to you buy your thing, you go to the tax-free counter, they put it in a bag, all this stuff, and you show your passport, and then they'll give you the tax-free off. You get 10% off. But because apparently, this is like the rumor mill, don't quote me on this, but apparently there's been like scalpers and like resellers or whatever that would like buy it and then they would like resell it on the market and get a profit, obviously. So like Japan's like cracking down on that. And they're like, nah, none of that anymore, guys. You're done. So what they want to do now is in 2026, they want to basically, you're gonna buy it, you pay full price, and then you have to go to the long line at the airport, show the passport, all that, and now, yeah, basically it's just all done at the airport. So mans can't, you know, kind of scam the system. So it kind of sucks, but I get it. But yeah, that's basically the bad news. Honestly, it's not that bad, but just something to be aware of. You're gonna be paying about 30% more for things moving forward. And of course, if you wanna make some extra savings, you can use my code Mayday-san Cluck to save 5% off, 8% off for newcomers to the website. I got a whole shop where you guys can plan out your entire trip using my code and get a discount. And yeah, let's move on to the good stuff, guys. So the good news is that IC cards are back. So Suica, everybody loves a Suica and a Passmo. You use it to go everywhere, pay for transport, pay for things, go shopping, etc., the vending machines. So for a long time, we didn't have like semiconductors and IC chips, but they're back. So you can get a Suica card and you can be cool. If you were an iPhone user, you could have just done a digital version, but people like to have it because it's like a great souvenir. They also introduced a new one called the Welcome Suica card, which is like a 30-day version, which has like sakura trees and stuff. That's a cool souvenir. I think my sister has like 4 of those Suicas, the regular ones anyway, but I personally just use an app because Team iPhone. And speaking of payments, Japan is implementing a tap and go system with a credit card. So if you have a credit card that can do a touch thing, you can just do it directly on the panel and you'll be able to ride the train without using a Suica or buying a ticket. Go straight from your card. The Tokyo Metro already currently does this, and I think Osaka also does it right now. It's still kind of rolling out. But let's be real, guys, it's the golden trip. You're gonna be in either Tokyo or Osaka, so that's an option for you. I never personally use it. I just use the Suica card, keeps my everything kind of organized, and it's cute. It's a souvenir, right? The other one is the Expo is here. I have a video on that already. You can watch it. It's here till October, so not a bad idea at all. The next one is Team Lab Planets has a new expansion. I actually made a video about this a while ago too, Schwartz version. It's basically the planets, and they have like this new area where it's like a playground, and they got a waterfall, and it's like actual planet stuff, and they got like a light projection forest place, which is pretty cool. So that's available for you if you're into like Team Lab Planets. And the last one is Disney Sea. You know, have you ever been to Disney Sea? Well, you should, because it's the most unique park in the world, Japan's OG. They don't even use Mickey Mouse as the mascot. It's a freaking teddy bear named Duffy. They recently opened up a spot called Fantasy Springs, so they finally injected some Disney into Disney Sea. And for the longest time, it was like super hard to get in. You have to like get there at the crack of dawn, get into the park, try and get a fast pass by paying for a ticket to get into Fantasy Springs, then to get on the ride. Once you got in Fantasy Springs, you couldn't even ride everything. You could only ride the ride you purchased. So now what they've done is that like now you can go to a standby line. So now you can actually just, once you're in the park, you can go to Fantasy Springs and then just ride it. Honestly, I do recommend to check out Disney Sea if you are interested in Disney at all. It's really cool. My sister loved it. She was like, she loved it, guys. That's the changes, guys. What do you think? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? How are you gonna handle it? Do you think it was necessary? I wanna see a discussion in the comment section down below, innit?